was a young girl, about 12, 13 years old. I was really mad at my older sister one day, so I took her toothbrush and stuck it in the toilet. The toilet was clean as a toilet can be, but I proceeded to put her toothbrush back on the counter and just reveled in the fact that she was brushing her teeth with a toilet toothbrush for weeks, only to find out that I had actually been using said toothbrush for weeks. She had switched her toothbrush to another toothbrush because we had two of the same toothbrushes. Anyway, turns out I was using the toilet toothbrush, and that's karma. That's karma, people. Right, so today, if you couldn't guess, we're reading people's confessions. I love reading these because it doesn't necessarily force me to give people advice necessarily, although I probably will anyway, but it makes you feel good about yourself. Everybody's up to some shady little shit. I know you are, I can see it. Alright, first up. I faked liking hiking and now I'm deep in the woods. Literally and emotionally. Oh, no. And yeah, I've been pretending to love hiking for years, and now I'm in way too deep. You know what? I commend your commitment, honestly. It started as a lie to impress a guy, and now I'm halfway to becoming Bear Grylls against my will. That's great. So a few years ago, I started dating this guy who was all about adventure and living life to the fullest. Read, he owned a Patagonia jacket and had a carabiner for some reason. On our third date, he asked if I liked hiking. I wanted him to like me, so I said, "Oh my God, I love hiking. Nature is my therapy." Huge mistake. I'd honestly probably do the same thing if I Did I ever tell Caleb something like that? I don't think so. Not to this point. No. There's like some music where I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I love like this, you know, certain folk, country, Irish, certain music. I'm the biggest fan. And then I had to manically listen to a lot of it. We went on a hike that weekend. It was 6 hours long. That's advanced. My legs almost gave out halfway up the trail, and I got bitten by a spider that may or may not have been poisonous. But I smiled through the pain and said things like, "Wow, look at that view," while secretly trying not to cry. Now, it's 3 years later. We're still dating. I've become the hiking girl to all his friends, and people message me for trail recommendations. I've received gifts of hiking socks. I own a water bottle that says, "Take a hike," unironically. I love this so much. Honestly, you're probably like fit as though, because hiking, man, you're just walking, but you're going on an incline. That'll get you fit. The worst part, hiking, I hate. Bugs, I hate. Sweating, I hate being more than 10 minutes away from a bathroom. Fair enough, queen. But I've committed so hard that I now lead monthly group hikes for his coworkers. You lead monthly group hikes for his coworkers. Again, the commitment is... I have a Google spreadsheet for upcoming summits. I once pretended to love a view so much I cried. It was just the altitude and dehydration. Now he wants to do the Inca Trail for our anniversary, and I'm Googling how to fake a knee injury convincingly. Please send help. Dude, I want to do the Inca Trail so bad. That's in South America. That's really cool. But also, I'm so sorry. But also, you dug your own grave. There was like a point, maybe on like the third or fourth hike where you could have just said, "You know what? I think you're awesome and I really love you. And honestly, I don't love hiking as much as I made it out to be. But you know, once in a while I would love to go on hikes with you, but it's just not my thing." That needed to come out really early, or just at the start. You know, that's probably your best bet. It could have saved you so much time. But again, your heart health is probably through the roof, which is great, like in a good way. Find a new obsession and give hiking the slow fade. That's a good idea as well. It needs to take up the same amount of time though, so you can miss one activity in favor of the other. Say hiking has become boring and now you're into mountain climbing. Much easier. Incoming, am I the asshole for breaking up with my girlfriend of 3 years? She just told me she hates hiking, but pretended to love it for the past 3 years, organized trips for my friends, coworkers, and everything, told me it was her therapy. Oh my God, that's so true. And it is. It's just like, wow, she went that deep. She just kept digging. Plantar fasciitis. Your doctor has told you to not hike for 6 months. Y'all are diabolical in Reddit. Sorry, I almost died laughing at the story. Your description was so vivid. It was like watching a movie. Yeah. Be honest. Or, at this point, you know, if you're not gonna be honest, which I recommend you do, yeah, I would get some sort of new hobby and just be like, you know what, I'm really into this now, and I'm just kind of like not feeling hiking anymore. Because that's honest, technically, because you really aren't feeling hiking anymore. But what do you think in the comments? Let me know. Let's move on. I've intentionally not cleaned our house for the past year. Damn, that's a long time. Okay. My husband claims to be a germaphobe, but lives like a slob. It's gonna get dicey and spicy up there. We separated, but never officially divorced in 2020. I truly loved living alone with my pets, but I'm admittedly not the best housekeeper. Laundry is always piled up, and the dishes don't get washed until I can actually fill the dishwasher. I don't sweep, mop as often as I should, but will make a generous effort if expecting company. Honestly, that just sounds pretty normal to me, honestly. When I was living alone, I was probably like pretty much the same. So back in 2022, we reconnected and rekindled our relationship and decided to move back in together. His OCD, which I have recently learned to call it, is extremely frustrating. He must wash or sanitize his hands after touching anything that's been on the floor, money, his wallet, etc. I am required to do the same. Any piece of clothing that has been worn outside of the bedroom, i.e. his safe space, even if only for an hour, has to go immediately into the laundry. He hasn't had a legit job in over a year, some under the table work for a while, started 2 different server jobs, and was fired within a few weeks. I worked full-time and paid at least 90% of the bills. This was still the case before we split. So for the past year, I decided that if he is gonna be a SAHH, I'm not going to do the housework. Guys, our house is disgraceful, and I'd be mortified if anyone came to visit. The floor hasn't been cleaned in months. The garbage is overflowing before it gets taken out. Last week, we got a notice in the mail about our unkempt lawn. I cave in and clean the bathroom when he leaves skid marks in the toilet, ew, or when the sink or shower starts looking gross, but I legitimately can't tell if he just doesn't notice these things, doesn't care, or just knows that eventually I'll take care of them so he won't have to. Interesting. Oh no. This just sounds so unhealthy. Like, you don't delete this relationship. What? You guys shouldn't be together. That you were right in 2020 to split up, because this is clearly an unhealthy relationship. Like, I understand the OCD part of his things. Some people have that, and you need to be able to, you know, compromise and be okay with that if that's the way that he wants to live. But him basically using weaponized incompetency, because that's what he's doing, just being like, I'm not gonna clean up because I know she will, which I think that's what it is. Somebody got mad at me because I used that term wrong in the last video, which I don't know. The one person's compromising more than the other, but then you're also like doing this weird thing where it's like, who's gonna give in first? And that is so unhealthy in a relationship. This is bad. Leave each other, basically. Girl, he ain't it. Yep, pretty much. This sounds like some passive weaponized incompetence. Okay, yes, we got it right. Dude knows he's living in a shithole, but doesn't care to do anything because he doesn't do anything about it because he knows you eventually will. Exactly. I don't know, after a year, I doubt he expects she will clean. Sounds like the dude's mentally ill and has failed to adapt professionally or domestically, resulting in her being understandably frustrated. I'm not really sure there's a bad guy to be angry at here. I mean, that's fair too. Like, clearly he has like some sort of OCD with like having his safe space and needing to sanitize and not letting you wear clothes outside after an hour, you know, all that kind of stuff. And maybe he's just okay, and maybe he's depressed, maybe he's okay with living in, you know, a dirtier space, which I understand as well. I've been in those situations, not for a year, but that's fair as well. I just think that this relationship isn't healthy and that he probably needs to go get help, and you probably need to go back to living with your pets, I think. Oh, I like this. His mental health isn't his fault, but it is his responsibility. True that. You know, you can't necessarily, I mean, of course it can be an excuse for some things, but you don't want to make it your entire being, hopefully, which it's hard not to when you're in it. But yeah, he needs to take care of that because it's just not a life. You guys aren't living a life, you know? Remember when you split from him and were happier? Yeah, that was a good call. Do that again. Yeah, pretty much that's what I said. So I think that's pretty open, closed and shut case, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let's move on. I broke my left arm on purpose and it did the job. What? Okay. When I was 12, I broke my arm/wrist intentionally by falling on the stairs at school. I'd been really dizzy and having a lot of headaches, and I was fairly sure I needed glasses, but my mom wouldn't listen or take me to the eye doctor for some reason. I had broken my right wrist already, so I knew what it felt like, and I knew if I was more severely injured, they'd be forced to address the situation. Oh, what a terrible situation. I knew I needed to do it at school when there were cameras and witnesses and no one could accuse my parents of anything sinister. So I waited for a day when I knew knew one of my teachers would let me leave mid-class to go to a different floor. I threw myself up the stairs, tore a bunch of cartilage in my elbow, and shattered my growth plate in my wrist. You chucked yourself. Holy shit. And got an eye doctor appointment. Oh my God. I see. Sorry, I was confused. I was already an injury-prone kid, ADHD, special awareness for the win. This did not get massively better, unfortunately, LMAO, so no one questioned it. I hated my glasses, think aggressively unsexy librarian, but I needed them, and as much as I regret the lengths I went to, I'm glad I got them finally. That's actually just so sad that you couldn't see properly and your mom wouldn't take you to the doctor. I'm so sorry. Like, for that to be a thought that comes across a child's mind, to be honest, I tried to do a really similar thing. I think I talked about this on Selena Spooky Boo's and I's podcast, Can't Sleep. If you don't know Can't Sleep, you can go check it out right there. We talk about random shit and we ghost hunt. But I wanted to break a couple of my fingers so I didn't have to play basketball anymore because I hated basketball. But my parents said, you can't quit basketball, you can't quit things. But anyway, I didn't do it. I just bruised them really bad because I tried to slam them in a door. I was actually asked my sister to, but she wouldn't do it. Anyway, and you gotta take care of your kid. You don't have kids if you're not gonna take care of them and take their, feelings into consideration or their sight into consideration. Like, don't have a kid if you're going to be that neglectful. I'm really sorry your mom failed you like that. No kid should ever feel the need to injure themselves just to be heard about their needs. Absolutely. I didn't have to go to these lengths with my mom, but I had to make issue big and react or create a problem somehow. Think histrionics to get my mom to notice there was a problem where it could help. Bit me in the ass a bit because I grew up with some historic behavior as a coping method. Curbed that really quick in my late 20s, but now I over-explain and justify and throw all the evidence and facts at someone immediately so they can't ignore me or make excuses. They have to listen. I fucking hate it. Thanks, Mom. Neglect doesn't always look like it does in the movies. Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy that domino effect that happens when you treat your kid a certain way, then they're gonna feel the need to do either the same thing or justify it themselves in a certain way because they couldn't justify to their parents, so now they feel the need to do that to everyone else or, get attention in certain ways. It's just it's just so sad. It's so sad. So many people go through it. Holy shit, you enlightened the fuck out of me. I've been very vocal about when I'm not feeling well my whole life, but I never really gave it much thought as to why. Now I'm realizing that I had to do that excessively to be maybe heard and taken care of. I almost died when I was 9 or 10 from mononucleosis because no one would take me to the doctor. It was so bad they thought I had leukemia at first. My head is spinning. Damn. Yeah, man, just, can take care of your kids. I don't know. I don't have any kids, but I mean, just even thinking about having I just protect that little guy or little girl for just with everything in me. And if something happened to them or if they felt a certain way, I would take it very seriously. Just in the way I didn't grow up bad, but I had a lot of issues growing up, So I think I know now what to look out for. So maybe that makes you a better parent. Maybe it makes you a worse parent. I don't know. But I'd be curious to know what you guys think down below. Let me know. Let's move to the next one. I carry pumpkin seeds in my pocket and plant them everywhere I go. I've been doing this for 20 years. Okay, this is a nice little lighthearted one after this one. I carry pumpkin seeds in my pocket and plant them everywhere I go. I've been doing this for 20 years. There's no reason that I do this other than I find it funny. I hear whispers I don't know how a pumpkin grew here. Lol. I never run out of seeds. I got pumpkin patches across the country. Till next time, lend a hand, leave a smile. I love that so much. Pumpkins. Oh my god, in the comments, Johnny Pumpkin Seed. Good old Johnny Pumpkin Seed planting all the pumpkin trees. That's funny. See, that is wholesome as hell and really funny. I'm taking that one. I'm getting myself some pumpkin seeds. All right. He is having fun avoiding parental responsibilities, but there is no child. What? A guy I was dating intentionally tried to get me pregnant when we were together. Oh god. He ghosted and I never heard from him again. I lied and told him he got me pregnant and he blocked me. What is this guy has one of those fetishes just to impregnate everyone he sees and just never be in their life? That's so weird. I managed to reach out to him and I told him I gave birth and he hung up on me. There is no child. There is no child. He unblocks me every couple of months to taunt me about being left with his child. That there is no child, LMAO. It's just funny to watch how much joy he gets out of thinking he created a child and disappeared. This is so weird. Oh my god, almost like it's a kink for him. It is. I don't ever plan to tell him there's no child, lol. I'm just going to let him enjoy feeling like he did something. Why? Why give him the satisfaction? This guy's crazy. For those calling me crazy, okay. I'm not calling you crazy, but a little bit also. I do have borderline personality disorder, so it's playtime. Oh my god. She chose chaos. She chose chaos. I mean, it's her life, not mine, you know? I don't know what else you're gonna do, but I hope you post it on Reddit so I can see. Let's see what the comments say. You are truly unhinged, but I'm cracking up at the thought of him having an emotional breakthrough in like 20 years and going on a search for his non-existent child. Yeah, see, yeah, you know, I'm in. Write the movie, you know, write the book. I'll read it. I'll watch it. Oh, in 18 years time, please pay an actor to go ring his doorbell with a suitcase and an official paternity test. Request, make the actor film everything and let chaos ensue. That's wild. This is gonna be the greatest update ever in like 20 years. Damn. Let's move on. Okay, we'll end with a wholesome one, it seems anyway. I give customers more food as a McDonald's employee. Doing the Lord's work. This person. I'm here for it. That's pretty much it. I make sure that customers get their money's worth. I make the McFlurries full and add a good amount of sauce. I make sure the fries are always as full as possible, and sometimes I give the sauces away for free. And once put about 14 nuggets in a 9-piece box. I generally don't care anymore. I think the job is fun and stuff, but it's taken way too seriously. They haven't taught me how to work the grill and how to make burgers yet, but to be honest, that's for their own safety at this point. Edit. LOL, I didn't think this would blow up. Thank you for the kind comments, gifts, and stories. I'm from Europe, so that might be why it's a 9-piece and not a 10-piece. Oh my goodness, I love that. I love that. I get so giddy when I find like so many extra fries in the bag or like a couple extra nuggets. I'm just like, oh my god, somebody's in there really thinking about me. Or the cheeseburger is actually assembled and not like in 8 pieces. When I worked in retail, or like I worked at a tanning salon specifically, we had like lotion bottles and samples that you could purchase for like a few bucks or whatever. I would give samples away I don't give a fuck now. I don't give, what, are you gonna fire me? Bitch, you gonna fire me? But I would give away so much. I would give so many discounts. I also did lash extensions, and I would charge people mini fills when it was like a full fill. It was like saving them 50 bucks. It is the best feeling ever. And also the person I worked for, just a horrible human being. I got harassed on a constant basis by like multiple 50+ men, and I would go to her and be like, hey, can I not work the shift because these guys come in all the time? And she didn't give a fuck. She didn't do anything about it. I got stalkers there, didn't do anything about it. So I didn't care. And it was a chain too. It wasn't like a family-owned thing. Anyway, long-winded way of me saying, karma will get you. Karma will get you. So give away some samples for free. All right. Anyway, have a great day.